seems to believe me when I say that my sound helps to get views, so I guess I'll have to prove it, I guess.
Please give me $1. Oh, I have no money. Just $1. I'm broke too. $1. I really don't have money, but how much money do you make from begging? $150 a day. Give me that shit. Please give me $1. Please give me $1.
Do I have any Funko Pops with no legs? I guess we'll find out. Well, I mean, there's Blue. He doesn't have any legs. Casper, also no legs. The McNuggets definitely don't have legs. Mrs. Potts. Fish don't have legs. And neither do trees. I'm gonna say this one counts. Finally, Danny Phantom. Do I have any Funko Pops?
Okay.
Alright, so I'm pretty stoked right now because I just got a package at my door and Warner Brothers just sent me this huge box to celebrate DC Fandom and I can't wait. Let's open it up. Got my Gotham City PD badge here. Let's see what's inside this thing. Alright, what do we got? Alright, looks like they sent me this DC Fandom t-shirt. Do I have...
Let's watch one of my content creators that I love. No. Please, where is one? Let's go to the first one. No. I mean, I have a lot of content creators that I like.
Today I made a fake plane ticket with my DIY skills so I could go to the Tokyo Olympics because I think I'm really good at gymnastics. But the problem is Japan is only letting actual Olympic athletes go there because of COVID, so...
Okay. So what is he doing about it?
I finessed the system by buying a random plane ticket to Alabama so I could get into the airport. So once
Why is he doing that? Is he gonna write Tokyo on the next one?
got to the airport, I found the flight that was headed to Tokyo. And then I walked over to the gate to sit down, and I crossed off Alabama on my ticket. And then I used it while they were boarding, and I managed to board the flight to Tokyo. And after I took my seat, I was just sitting there realizing I'm really going to Japan, huh? And then we took off, and I was enjoying the flight until I looked at the safety manual and saw that I was on one of those malfunctioning Boeing 737 MAX planes. You know, the ones that decide they want to be a car while in midair. And that's when I started feeling really bad turbulence. And then I remembered my phone wasn't on airplane mode. And then that's when it got really bad because the plane started falling apart. And all of a sudden the oxygen mask came down and I just accepted that the last song I'll have ever listened to in my life was Ed Sheeran. Anyways, the crowd was getting closer and closer and oh, I actually just fell asleep. Anyways, now I'm in Tokyo. Today I made it.
So I have a chunk of dry ice from buying human organs off the black market, but I was thinking, how do you even get rid of dry ice? Like, it doesn't melt because it's literally frozen air and it repels water, which means it's homophobic. Oh wait, I mean hydrophobic. Anyways, I'm clinically stupid, so I broke a piece in half and plopped it in my toilet to see what would happen. And it was making these fun little bubbles, so I filled the bathtub and grabbed the rest of it and threw it in some water to see what would happen. And anyways, that was a mistake because it filled the whole shower up with gases, and I remembered it's not frozen air, it's frozen CO2, and I was getting lightheaded and I wasn't trying to die. So I took the piece out and I brought it to the sink and I jammed it down the drain as best as I could so it would go away. And then I took a deep breath of relief until I looked down to see I was standing in a puddle of water and boom, my pipes exploded. There was water spraying me everywhere in the face. It got everywhere. Anyways, I may have caused a catastrophic water main failure in my whole neighborhood and flooded 102 buildings. So, I don't think the vegan chicken nuggets were worth it. So I have a chunk.
So there was this guy on the train today. Do you ever scroll through Instagram all day like a Coco Melon iPad baby until you see that you're somehow on Christian Mingle and you've matched with the mom from Wizards of Waverly Place? But then when you switch back to Instagram, it's down and you're like, what am I gonna do now? Well, that happened to me. So I thought, well, may as well join the Amish. So I went to their website, which I was surprised they even had in the first place. And I signed myself up and gave them my address and my social security number, which I didn't really know why they needed that. But anyways, later that day, someone rang my doorbell and slipped a business card under the door. And when I picked it up, it had a number on it. So I texted the number and I decided to ask them, so what's it like being in the Amish? And they replied, we are in Spain. And I was like, oh my god, I didn't know they had the Amish in Spain. So you know what I did? I booked the next flight to Barcelona to try and join them. But when I finally got there, I turned my phone off airplane mode and the text came in. And it turns out he actually said they are in pain, not Spain, because they have no electricity. And, well, sucks to be y'all, I'm in Spain.
I'm not naming any names, but it'd be a...
Today I went to the airport with a pregnant. I went to Universal Studios today, but when I got to security, I remembered I had a can of spray cheese in my bag, which you can't bring into parks or anything because it's an aerosol and they're probably scared that I'm gonna, I don't know, like burn down the Minions ride. So I took my bag and went into the alleyway and wrapped it in the label for my Febreze can that I use as deodorant from time to time. And guess what, baby? They never found it when they searched my bag. So anyways, I went on the Minions ride, and as much as I would have loved to set it on fire until it's nothing but smoldering ruins, I had to settle for beating up the Minion in the gift shop. But anyways, after the ride, I realized I was pretty hungry and I wasn't gonna spend $20 on Harry Potter butterbeer when I can just put butter in my beer myself. So I snuck into the employees only area to eat my spray cheese. And I thought I grabbed the right can when I sprayed it in my mouth, but I accidentally grabbed the Febreze and basically blinded myself. So I asked Siri, call poison control. And she was like,
calling animal control.
and I was like, what? No! And animal control was like, hello, yes, what are you reporting? And I was like, my eyes are burning. And they said, your ass is burning? We recommend Pepto-Bismol. And I knew they weren't gonna help, so I hung up and I made the hard decision to flush my eyes with... I was inhaling my daily bag of hot chips and then popping blackheads with my flaming hot fingers. And then I looked in the mirror and was like, oh, why is my skin falling off the bone like a nice rotisserie chicken? Thankfully, that was me from the past very terrible skincare routine. Because now my skincare routine is so sacred to me, and that's all thanks to Biotherm Cerarepair. First off, this stuff feels so good that my skin feels as soft and nourished as a little buttered up baby. Not saying that I put babies in butter... I don't know what to say. Anyway, it's not only amazing for your skin, but it's created eco-consciously, and its key ingredients are all sourced from nature. And guess what? You weren't created in a top secret lab. You came from nature too. I'm not gonna get into exactly how that happened, cause, anyways, I highly recommend Biotherm Cerarepair to keep it natural. Today I made a DIY. Today I was on a romantic date with I was joining some random Zoom calls today so I could make some friends. But after accidentally joining an Amish colony Zoom, I accidentally joined the Zoom call with this guy in it, and I was like, who's that? Until I realized I had joined a call with Dr. Fauci, the chief medical advisor to the president. And then I looked in the mirror to make sure I didn't look like a cockroach. And then as soon as I looked presentable, I grabbed my laptop and brought it out to the living room. And then I joined the call and I was like, how are you, Dr. Fauci? And he said,
I'm good, Ben. Nice to be with you. How you doing?
and then I froze and tried to think of like a question about COVID or something. And that's when I remembered my uncle texting me out of the blue saying that there's pee in the vaccine. So I was like, let me set the record straight. So I asked him,
The vaccine looks like it's just a few drops of water, and I feel like a lot of people don't really know what's actually going on in there.
What vaccine did you get, Ben?
I'm Moderna.
I got Moderna too. So
Okay.
So when you and I got injected, what happened? It went into the muscle. The body recognizes the protein of that virus and neutralizes it.
I feel like that was like a crash course and a PhD in biology, but it all made sense. I figured it out.
well, you heard it from the White House and Bet of the Week. The vaccines are safe. Go get it, please. I was picking the ticks out of my dog's fur so I could collect them and inject them with acid until they popped. But just before I could even get to doing that, my phone went off. And when I checked it, my friends had invited me to go rollerblading with them. So I dropped what I was doing and I met them at the roller derby rink. Now, I paid $10 to rent some skates, but listen, these babies were impossible to put on. And when I stood up, it felt like I had fettuccine noodles for legs. But it was actually really fun, except there was a small child who kept trying to chase me, and I'm allergic to small children, so I tried to avoid him at all costs. But then he got too close to me and I ran him over. And in the distance, I heard some lady who I think was his mom screaming at me about her little overgrown fetus. I want the camera! So I left the roller rink and escaped into the mall, but I could still hear her screaming in the distance, so I started running. And then that's when I saw a security guard and told him that there was a psychopath chasing me. And thankfully, he snuck me out of the mall. And turns out she got arrested later for biting an employee. So... Today I went to the fair so I could try and go on that tilt-a-whirl ride that was about to collapse in this TikTok that I saw. But when we were standing in line for it, I noticed some sparks fly as it flew by, and a literal screw had been sharded out. And I was like, well, the Juice WRLD concert's gonna be really good after this. Anyways, we got on and found our seats and put the thing on, and I don't know what they did, but they had cranked that speed up to the max. And you know what? It surprisingly didn't fall apart, but instead I just passed out like a little infant that can't stay awake. Anyways, I got off and was feeling kind of hungry, and I saw the cotton candy booth, so I went over to it, and they gave some to us for free because they were so nice. And I was enjoying my cotton candy when my friends dragged me onto this swingy thingy. So I reluctantly gave the dude my ticket and found my seat. And once it started moving, I realized that cotton candy and motion sickness is a terrible mix. They were swinging our butts around this thing like no tomorrow, baby. Because I threw up. And it sprayed on a worker. and I'm never allowed back. I was at the Tokyo Olympics gym today. I was enjoying something. I was watching my comfort movie Pit. I was bored today, so I went to the mall to shoot boba tapiokas at strangers. But I didn't think I would actually hit someone, and they started chasing me, so I panicked and ran into the closest stairwell. And just when I thought I was safe, I somehow managed to drop my phone down the middle of the stairs. And I freaked out and ran to it to check if it was okay. And thankfully it was, because I had my Ultra Impact case from Casetify. The 4 shock-absorbing corner bumpers keep my phone safe, while still feeling sleek and not bulky. And now that I know that I can drop my phone from over 9 feet, I just drop my phone everywhere. Whenever I don't feel like bending down because my knees crack like celery every time I bend over to plug my phone into the wall, I just drop it on the floor and it's 100% fine. And guess what? You can get your own for 15% off with the code 15HighBend. And together we can have knees like Megan Thee Stallion. I was bored
Bye,
today.
guys.